What's up, folks? Let's do a Q&A. I'm going to try to see if I can do it with my pen. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
You sound super excited. It's good old Depeche, dude. Always wide asleep.
It'll be hilarious if like 2 3 years from now I actually meet you at a convention and I'm like, hey, do you remember me? I was your student. And then you're like, wait a minute, were you the guy who was like,
Okay.
Yeah, if you're the one that always fell asleep.
yeah.
That's definitely the way I'm gonna remember you.
It's like you'll never ever see my artwork, but you'll be like, hey, that guy who used to sleep a lot.
All right. Monica, you said you had some questions? Start talking about it. All right. I hate this preference of like showing the iPad screen. What happened? Kick me off. Oh, there you go. Monica, you still there? Maybe. Hello? Can you guys see my iPad screen? Should be able to, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So this is Infinite Painter. So I've been using this quite a bit. Pretty big fan of it. I like it a lot. Oops. There's a brush that I was using. Was it this one? Yeah, this one's pretty cool. But anyway, does anybody have any questions while I do demos? I know Monica said she had some, but then she disappeared. So I don't know what that's about. Hold on. I need to there you go, my headphone wires. We're all up in this. Oh, that's not good. Let's do this. Anybody else? I'm waiting.
Oh, sorry, I just got back. Yeah, I have some questions.
There she is.
All right, so I was watching an interview of an artist I liked on YouTube, and she mentioned that she started a comic, I guess, just a project to like get somewhere, I guess, like it was like a personal improvement type thing, and her comic actually ended up getting pretty popular. And she said that she couldn't pay anyone to look at her work before she started doing it. So I was
Before
wondering,
her comic?
yeah, so I was wondering, is it because she focused on a specific project and like put all of her energy? That's what she said, that no one would look at her work until she actually focused on a project. So I was wondering if that's true, if you think that's true, if that's what helped her.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have enough information to confirm or deny, because there could be a couple factors. Do you know who the artist is? Like, what's her name?
Oh shoot, I can't remember her name at the moment. Wait a minute. It's Rachel Smythe, and she does the comic called Lore Olympus.
Cool.
It's got like 2.6 million followers on Webtoon.
Got it.
Yeah, but she said prior to that she would post kind of similar to the way I do, which is like random stuff.
Uh-huh.
And she said that she couldn't like pay people to look at her work. I mean, she would even boost her posts and no one would even bother. And then now that she said that she
Sure.
had focused on this project, and
What was her
for
name
whatever,
again? Rachel.
Rachel Smythe, Smythe, I think. I'm maybe I have it wrong.
No, I think you might have it. All right, let me. How do I minimize this so we can take a look?
So you think it's just by factors, or do you think it's by?
Well, because we got to look at all of the, because that's what she says, and there might be a lot of truth to what she's saying, you know, but we have to double check, you know, because if, because I believe her that there's something that happened
Yeah.
and it really helped her out. Okay, but here's what we should do. We should go back in time.
All right.
Especially,
I did that with hers too.
okay, yeah, 1,600 posts. Yeah, that doesn't seem off brand. That's a lot of posts. She has more than double than I have, and she has almost double, a little over double fans than I do on her Instagram. So the numbers add up. It's not like she only has like 20 posts and then she has twice as many fans as I do. She has twice as many posts and she has twice as many fans. It's about right. But it's an exponential thing too. You get more and more fans. So if she posts 1,400, she will get more than twice usually. Let's keep going back in time till I don't see anything that looks like this one specific style.
Yeah, some of it's fan art she reposts from people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
I'm looking specifically.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm looking specifically for stuff that is not that. Okay.
Yeah, not her project, her current project.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
you have to
purple
go
blue
pretty
person.
far back.
Yeah, that's what I'm suspecting. But we'll get some evidence. And so because we don't want correlation to mean causation, meaning that she might have correlated that when she started doing this project, that's what made her successful. It could just be a matter of fact that because she had the project, she was more focused. And because she was more focused, she posted more often. And because she posted more often, she grew an audience. Just like I always preach. Yeah, because I'm trying to get to the bottom and I'm almost convinced it's less about the project and more about that she just posts, yeah, look at that. So we're starting to get to the bottom and we're starting to get to modest numbers.
Yeah.
Because this is starting to feel a little different. There doesn't seem to be a very clear vision. Okay. We're almost getting there.
Yeah, it's further down. I think she's not even working on this particular project. It's other stuff.
Yeah, she's starting to do it though. And
yeah.
It's starting to happen. I'm gonna bookmark that image because that's like a pretty good bookmark.
Yeah, so now we're getting into the random
stuff. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So let's see when she kind of actually begins to try to tell a story with her artwork. It looks like that. I mean, this stuff too, but like to the vision that we saw earlier. Okay. And then let's see the last post. I'm trying to find a good spot because this is a pretty cool image. Okay, so what am I thinking? This is her first time she started telling a story relatively similar to what she's got going. It's like the first flickering of inspiration.
Yeah.
And then this is just kind of her cool shit. All right, so this is going to be a date marker because I want to see how far we can go before we get to the actual bottom.
Okay. Yeah, this is starting to get into more random posts, which I feel like is what I've kind of been doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she still has a lot of drawings.
Yeah, she does.
So we've definitely gotten past probably another 100 images. Granted, it is kind of random stuff too. It's not necessarily just artwork.
Yeah.
Okay, and so this is even the quality of artwork is not nearly as good as what she's doing now. So this is good because it's showing that she is always pretty persistent. So she's not wrong that she posted all often.
So you think it's just the focus of having the project that has helped her post more? And
Well, I mean, because like if you look at here, right, watch, you'll see a big difference. Like she'll post like a bunch of sketches and stuff, and this you could tell like people did like this stuff,
yeah, but not
you
very
know.
many in comparison to now.
But you got to think about it. She probably didn't have a lot of fans,
Yeah, yeah,
so she's misled this idea that, um, like, yeah, especially this has nothing to do with art. It's just Instagram posts, traditional Instagram stuff.
yeah. A lot of people do that.
Yeah, so I think it actually is just like, okay, now we're starting to get into just, she just really doesn't have any clear vision of who she is as an artist.
Yeah,
So I think even if I try to get to the bottom of this, which I do want to get to, it's only gonna be more of the same. So everything from here on out, right,
hmm
is a matter of it is just a matter of she doesn't have a vision, and she's just posting whenever and however she wants.
yeah,
And I think that's true. So I think she's right. There's two things that really worked for her. One, she does not uh she is not a person who doesn't post. She posts all the time.
yeah.
Okay. I mean, even her first post did well, it looks like. But anyway, so let's take a look at some stuff. Let's look at some data. All right, so her very first post was in 2012. This is important to understand.
hmm
So she's been at it, the 1,600 images, for about nearly 7 years.
Yeah,
So if we take the 7 years, yeah, that's nearly a post every day.
it's not always artwork though.
Yeah, so if we were to just say that even if we took like 75 out of this,
Oh wow, yeah.
like every year she posts 70 non-art related images, which
hmm
it's still like every other day, at
Yeah, that's true.
least twice a week. There's no doubt about that.
All right.
Okay, going back to what I was saying to you, right?
Yeah.
So clearly she posts fucking a shit ton, regardless of what, like, especially early on, you're right. But as time went on, she realized nobody gives a fuck about my coffee mugs, right?
Yeah.
Like every once in a while, she's like, "Oh, look at my nails," but it's like related to her art. She's like, "Look at my setup," but it's related to her art. She's not posting images of herself as much either. She's posting
Post a lot of
just
fan art as well.
she's posting fan art, which is always nice. That's always really good to just shout out to your fans. But like, it's all clearly she's got vision. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so 2012, 7 years, roughly, almost two. It's almost November. So, um, and so then, what was this bookmark? Okay, this is where I felt like beyond this point, she's just been posting kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
Like she's not necessarily true, but she is posting often. I would say she was posting at least during that whole year, definitely a good couple, like 100 images at least. But most of those images, if we were to really analyze it,
Yeah.
were mostly, it was like half and half, art related, half not art related. All sketches out of her sketchbook, nothing really clear.
Okay.
Okay. And then if we now, which one is this one? Okay, so I felt that this is when her quality was starting to increase. So
2016.
yeah, so 2016, and she definitely was posting not as much because there was a long time where she was not posting. Because even though it's 13 to 16, you think, okay, well, she must have been like, no, this was actually, when I bookmarked this, it wasn't that much far ahead.
Yeah.
So there was a clear moment where she was spending a couple years where she was actually just trying to get better at her craft, right? And she just wasn't posting it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this is where I felt like her quality was pretty great.
Okay.
And she started, this is like the last of her good images before she started beginning her journey. So she spent about a year. It seems like she spent about a year like just doing this and feeling like what she probably felt. I've been sharing my work and nobody gives a fuck, which is
Yeah.
probably true. But she did still got like 120 people like her versus 40, you know? And so
Yeah.
I can see why she would feel this way. But the reality is she was definitely posting often here.
Mm-hmm.
And then she started telling stories within that same year.
Okay.
Okay.
So you think that also helped the storytelling?
She started to kind of have like a thing
Okay.
around 2 years ago. And then from here on out, there's literally thousands, almost thousands of images before she started to really build her theme, all within the same year.
Okay. Yeah.
So she was not only building a very, very cohesive vision, she also was doing it consistently and constantly, all within 2017. So she's right. And and you should also pay attention to the other factor that she was also doing it a lot. So
Yeah.
there's two things going on. She's right. She had more vision and she posted like a fucking beast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think the vision helped her be
Yeah,
like a
because she was drawing all the time then.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Like she just decided that this is what she's going to do. Right. There's a lot of images. Let me try to scroll through here before we start seeing pink and blue. Okay,
There's a
here we
lot
go.
of fan art in there
So
too.
if we look at this scroll bar,
Yeah.
you know, more than half of the next series of images that follow her theme
Yeah.
are tremendously, it's more than the opposite number.
Yeah.
Okay. It's important to realize.
So it was the consistent posting plus the vision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
So take a look at somebody like myself.
Yeah.
Now I don't have a cohesive story. I don't have like a thingy, but I don't post nearly as much as she does. She posts double, like I said,
Yeah.
more than double. But like it's no shock to why I've built my fan base as well.
Oh yeah.
Very consistent posting. I do something a little bit different, right? Because I can post all sorts of artwork all the time.
Yeah.
Because that is what I do. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
the image did do it all. All right. Anyway, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is how you should research artists and their journeys. So she's not wrong. I think she's right. I think she was posting. So now Ross has nearly as I think I have more posts than he does, but he has clearly almost 1 million followers.
Wow.
But why is that? Well, because he does mostly fan art,
Yeah.
right? And he is Ross Trent. He builds a persona around who he is, what he does.
Yeah.
But don't get that confused, because he still posted hundreds of images.
Yeah.
And if you get to the bottom of this, you'll see it's been about 3 years of constant posting.
Okay.
You know, and he goes to events and he does cons. Like he's at LA Comic Con right now.
Yeah.
You know, or he was meeting his fans, making more fans. That's what it's about, dude. He's a professional influencer, dude. Right? I'm not a professional influencer. I'm just a guy trying to draw pictures.
Yeah.
You know, I posted a thing about female artists, like how I have very few fans that are female.
Yeah.
On my Instagram. You know, and people had their criticisms and stuff, and I talked about this with you guys last class. Or they didn't have critiques. They just, they just had they just had opinions and insight that I thought was valuable. And I asked Ross, I was like, well, what about you, Ross? Like, what's your jeez. He started Instagram strong, dude. But yeah,
Yeah.
see, about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, actually. So 4 years, and definitely it's like almost all, like his Instagram is entirely, it's like incredibly professional, like from the day one, right? It's almost all been art. Like I said, he's a professional influencer. This guy is
Does
got the
it mean I
right.
should delete all my old gross drawings?
Nah, you should keep them. I think this is the number. I forget exactly. No, I don't want to see a story. I want to just go to Ross 763. I don't know why I thought it was that. Divided by, it was 2015. Yeah, so we're 4 years in. Yeah, so still,
Wow.
we're reaching an average of at least one image every other day, right? Like Monday you should post, Wednesday you should post, Friday you should post, Sunday you should post. Rinse and repeat. Right?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Like it's easy to just look at the numbers and be like, well, fuck it, he does Black Panther, cheater, right? No,
Yeah.
he posts every other day. Do you post every other day? No, then
No.
that's probably why. Rachel Smith, she's no different. It
Yeah.
definitely took her longer because she was posting random shit. But as soon as she got her focus in, it started to rein in. So she's not wrong. I think that is actually great advice. I wanted to make sure.
All right. Okay.
You know, like you just
Yeah.
do this with like a lot of your favorite artists, like artists that don't have big followings,
Okay.
right? You'll be shocked. You'll be like, oh yeah, like Adrian Smith, one of my favorite. I don't know if this is his official. We'll find out in just a second. Come on, Instagram, get your life together. Yeah, so he has 15,000 followers, and this is something I see from my contemporaries. They'll always be like, how come this fucking guy who posts this gets millions of followers and then so and so only gets so little followers? It's usually a matter of quality and a matter of popularity, but also just a matter of consistency.
Yeah.
Okay. So now 230, we're going to be able to get to the bottom this much faster.
So
At least a
you'd
quarter
say
of the
that
time.
sorry, you'd say consistency is more important, right?
Yeah, I would say consistency is more important because eventually, just like the Rachel, she eventually found her voice. Once she did, she stuck with it and just continuously did it, keep doing it, right?
Yeah.
But she was consistent even before that. So it wasn't like she had to teach herself to be consistent. She just was even more focused. Like it wasn't like she had to learn how to be consistent. Like she was right. That's why I'm saying like she was actually 100% right. Like she was posting a lot. She was sharing her work a lot. It's only until she started to really kind of have a clear vision for her work that other people started to respect it. Okay. So yeah, October 18th. It's not even a picture of artwork. I don't know if this is him. I think this is him. This must be him. Yeah. So yeah, May of this year started posting his artwork. So he has no problems with the consistency thing.
Yeah.
Right. He just started doing this, and he's building his audience in the right speed.
Okay.
Yeah, June 7th. That shit's not long ago. He posted literally hundreds of images in the last few months, several months. I was hoping that it was something like he posted like 6 years ago, you know,
Yeah.
and then he just started posting more often, or scarcely. But no, this is actually a new thing. He is starting hard. He's going fucking real hard, posting probably 10 or like 5 or 10 images like every other day. It seems like.
All right.
Super good.
Yeah, that's nice.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, he's gonna get up there. If he keeps it up, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. I even like the epic one in the middle with 285 likes. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. So like if you look at this 285 likes, right? And you go back, you go into the future, you just look like at another sketch of his. Let's say this. It's got, this is even looser,
Yeah.
not as impressive yet. It's got what is that? Like 5 times as many.
Yeah.
But that's just the nature of thing. You don't look at the likes at the like at the time without also looking at how many people are following you.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Because this is obviously much sooner or more recent, right? September. So he clearly had more followers. That's how it works for me. Like I average out now at like 2,500 to 3,000 likes per image, regardless of how good it is.
Yeah.
Okay, like if it's no better or worse than something I've done recently or in the past. And so with someone like Ross Tran, he has literally 8 times more followers than me. And if you were to times, let me see, I don't think it adds up exactly. So like I have, because I think it's an exponential thing too, as you grow fans. So if I average around 3K of things, oh yeah, see, so he should be averaging between 24,000 likes per image if we were just to follow the math directly, but I don't think it works that way.
Yeah.
But you could tell, like, I'm not, like, when I talk about, like, you should research, you should study, like, I talk about art in that manner.
Yeah.
You know, so you think, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. No, I'm talking about, like, fucking everything, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's getting, like,
So
70.
even averaging out what artists are doing within a year. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And just why they're doing better than, let's say, you, and why they're doing worse than, let's say, you.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Not to say, well, it's because my artwork sucks. It was because nobody likes it. It's I tell you, it's a consistency thing. So it looks like he averages about 50K. So there is, my exponential theory is right. I think there's an exponential thing that's happening here.
All right.
What I mean by exponential, meaning that like the more followers you get, the more people that don't follow you will find your work, right? They might not actually follow you yet, but they'll because there's so many people that will share your posts and put it out there, they will come to like your images even if they don't follow you. So there's more of that happening, right?
Yeah.
If you have 10 people following you, only 10 people can share your work, right? If you have 100 people following, only 100 people can share your work. If you have 1,000 people can share your work, right? It's the whole 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 4, 4 + 4 is 8, right?
Yeah. All right. Fair point. Fair point.
It's a compound interest, and so it's a very slow burn is what I'm getting at, and people don't respect the slow burn. Just like when I talk about art, they don't respect it. They always want to be dope, like right away, and they don't respect that it takes time to build an audience. They just want to have an audience right away, you know.
Yeah. True.
And so, all right, let's just show you guys some cool stuff on an Infinite Painter while we take another question. But hopefully, and I wanted to spend some time, even though I didn't get a chance to paint, just because like everything I just talked to you about, right?
Yeah.
I'm almost certain has a lot of value to you because because it feels so hopeless, right? You feel like, oh, I'm not doing this right. I'm not doing this right. And it's really nice and comforting when your instructor is like walking you through how your preconceived notions might not be accurate, and that it has always been very simple, just like being good at art. You know, like there's no accidents. Like these artists deserve a lot of their fan bases, and you got to respect that some things are going to do more. Like, you know, whenever people were talking to me about when people were talking to me about what you call it, concept art, and like how certain genres do better with ladies than others. Hold on, I'm gonna do something here.
Yeah.
You know, they generally focus in on There is my Instagram. This works. What happened to the thing? This refractor keeps shutting down on me. It's all right. I have another way of sharing my iPad, but it's all right. I'll just show you guys just some of the settings, and we'll get into this. Like, it keeps disconnecting me. Not sure why. Oh no, I'm still connected. It's the refractor just acting weird. All right, whatever. I'll just show you guys some other time. Maybe next week I'll set it up my iPad because I can join the class with my iPad and then share my screen that way, and that way it'll stay consistent. It'll be through Zoom, but right now it's not working. So fuck it. I'll just paint normally. But like you know, like it's nice to be able to see someone like me walk you through all that stuff, explain that there is no trick, you know.
Yeah, it's just simple and straightforward.
Oh shit, where's my Wacom pen? What is going on in my life right now? First I lose my, oh here it is. It's underneath my iPad. Yeah, you know, people like they don't do the research when it comes to a lot of stuff, you know, and I try to get them to research as much as possible, as many things possible, because once you start to do the research, and like I said, like when I was talking about like how some people are being critical of like my aesthetic, and this is probably why it's hard for me to find a female audience and what have you. You know, I understand that and I actually respect it tremendously, you know, and
Yeah.
so because like tits and ass are always going to do better than most things, right? Attractive people have like there's like this kind of like, you know, people talk about like white privilege or any of these kinds of privileges. And there's some truth to these things, but the one truth I know is definitely there is like attractiveness privilege, beauty privilege. That's definitely a thing, you know. Beautiful people get away with more things than us non-beautiful people, right? They just do. And including like being more successful at certain things, right? I always find it really interesting whenever I go to these like studios and working on like these effects houses and seeing some of the executives and the producers and some of the higher up people. They're also incredibly attractive people. Very rarely do I find people that are not that attractive in these high executive levels, you know. And I'm not necessarily saying that they're not good at their job. I'm just saying that there is definitely a less of a barrier of entry, you know. But luckily for all of us, the internet has existed, and a lot of us, the playing field has started to level out, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's really becoming a merit-based thing, which is ideal because you don't want necessarily only a certain group of people having access to all the goodies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that there's a lot of rationale to like whenever I see someone like Sakimi Chan, her artwork does really well. Like I'm not surprised by this. People tend to try to like find reasons to hate on it, like oh it's super shallow, focusing on just human beauty and standards and stuff like this.
And
But
she's
it's
gone
like,
into sexy mode lately.
huh?
Seems like she's gone like really deep into sexy mode. She kind of started off like Ross Tran with the fan art, and then like now
I
it's
see.
like super sexy,
Yeah,
right?
because it did really well. Yeah, and that's my point. Is that like she's like, oh, dope. She definitely makes way more money than all of us. Even Ross, I'm almost certain, right? Even if she doesn't have as many fans as him, she definitely makes more money than him. I think she's genuinely a millionaire now. And
Whoa.
so like my point is that like that is also a variable, right? So looking at the Rachel artist, like her artwork, I can see why it does even well because it has a very personal aesthetic to it. It's very like has like a story element to it that's really nice that people can get behind. It's right reason why people love characters like Han Solo and such. Like Disney didn't buy Marvel. Disney bought Captain America, Iron Man, Spider-Man, or they're trying to get Spider-Man. You know what I mean? They bought the characters. You know, they didn't buy the company. They didn't care so much because now they can sell the toys, they can have the amusement parks, right?
Yeah.
They didn't buy Star Wars. They bought Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Kylo Ren, the Stormtroopers, you know? They bought what the IP represents, you know? So that's kind of where she's coming at it. She's building that, and that actually has a lot of value. And that is something that that was one of the big notes that I took away from what you call it, when I put out that survey of just like how do I can get more female fans, right?
Oh, the storytelling,
Yeah,
right?
probably put a little more story because that can transcend regardless of the creepy crawlers that I draw, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that was pretty good advice someone or insight that someone gave to me that was pretty valuable. But like, you know, most people tend to get distracted on how someone's so popular and they're not. And it's like there's so many variables, man. Like you just gotta like rely on the ones that you can have control over. So if you're not a beautiful person, then stop worrying about how other beautiful people can succeed that way, right? You're just not going to succeed that way. It's just how it is. Like I saw the second Monsters Inc. movie. Have you ever seen that movie?
No, not yet.
Yeah, and that was the whole premise of it, was that like Mike was not scary, no matter how hard he tried. Right? And Sully was. He was like naturally scary. But Sully was like a klutz and was like not capable of following through, right?
Yeah.
And he was living against legacy too. Like I guess his parents were also super epic, scaring monsters, you know. And so what was cool is that the moral is that Mike was really good at the tactics of scaring. Sully was naturally good at scaring, and then them combined created a really good duo, you know.
Yeah.
And I like that message because that focuses on the strengths that I also agree with, is that focus on what is possible within your means. So I can't be an Instagram model. That's just not in the cards for me, right? I can't be a travel blogger, you know, because I have a large family. I can't just travel all the time. It's unstable for a family unit. You
Yeah.
know, I'm sure it can succeed for some people, but I'm almost certain it won't for us. Right? I can't do what other things that like I can't do that exist. You know, there's just some things I can't talk about, right? Like the whole stuff of China. I've only have a principled opinion about it. I don't really have a strong one way or another. Like even when we were talking about it, I was like, I side with Hong Kong on the principle of it, but ultimately, I really don't know enough to really pick a side. That's why I don't make a statement about anything, because I really am fucking naive, dude. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm clearly being propaganded towards in both sides. You know, and so I really don't know what's the truth. You know, but if you were to talk to me about like medical insurance and all that stuff, I feel pretty knowledgeable about that. Hold on, my baby just came in here. Anyway, and so like, you know, stay in your lane, like know where you're at. So so even like when I was deciding like the kind of like how can I add more value to my work that can reach a broader audience, I was thinking of what I already like to do, what I think other people already like, what I have already done, and just do more of it. you know? And I think that that's totally reasonable. Now, will I ever reach Ross Tran numbers? You know, very unlikely unless I completely change my aesthetic, you know? But that's just not who I am, nor is that something that I want to be. I don't want to be at that capacity. I don't want to be a celebrity, you know? And
Yeah.
so where is my limits then? It's like, well, you know, if I have 250,000 followers, that actually will have a lot of value for me. You know what I mean? In fact, that's kind of my current goal is to have like 250,000 followers on like Instagram. Try to reach somewhere of like 250,000 or 100,000 on 100 to 150,000 on like YouTube. These are good goals for me. Maybe even higher on YouTube because I can reach more people. But I don't want to necessarily have millions of subscribers. It might ultimately happen regardless, right? Just because of time and consistency, you know?
Yeah.
But hopefully by then, millions of followers will be meaningless in a population of 10 million or 10 billion people, you know?
Yeah.
And everybody and their mom can get like a million followers, right?
Yeah.
Which will probably happen. But my point is that I'm staying in my lane. I want to have a more intimate relationship with my fans. It's harder to do that when you have so many, right? I want to have a honest relationship with my fans too. So again, it's hard to do if you do a very popular thing, right? Like again, not to try to talk. I want to kind of make sure I say this stuff without sounding like negative towards my peers who do this stuff. I'm saying that I don't necessarily want these things because I want to have fame and riches. I want to have a larger fan base specifically so I can reach more people and educate them on how to become a better concept artist. And so sometimes if I wanted to do something that was very popular, then I would maybe react to the current affairs, very political stuff. I would look at what are popular trends and just do them just because I should do them. Right? Like there's like the people who do like the 100-hour drawings, you know, they like do 100-hour paintings. Yeah, I'm not doing that shit. You know what I mean? That has no interest to me. It's not going to actually bring any value to my audience. It's not a very meaningful relationship that I would be building if I did that. Right? I'll definitely acquire people. People will be fascinated by the result of what happens, but I don't really care for that. And there's nothing wrong if you do that thing. I just know it's building the wrong reputation for the wrong things. And you'll build success doing that, and all things become a job. And I don't want my job to be doing 100-hour paintings and doing extreme shit all the fucking time, right?
Yeah.
Now, artists, there's like there's a react videos like where people react. There's new stuff where it's like lawyers react, you know, linguistics reacts. Like they take these people who are professionals in these respected industries, and they have them react to stuff in popular media. That I think I would love to do. You know, like a concept art reacts, you know, art director reacts to, you know, a very popular movie or very popular TV show to help bring in some perspective. You know, I think that's actually very valuable, and it's a very popular trend that is happening. But it's like a trend that I would do that makes perfect sense, right, to what I would build towards, but not like gonna color all these coloring books in 24 hours using just Sharpies. I don't know. You know, like that's clearly more spectacle than it is um uh what I would like to do. Like I know Mike, he did like the one chip challenge, for instance. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that shit. And like especially if it was like one chip challenge and try to illustrate something. Like that would be really, really fun to watch. I'm almost sure of it. But I don't want to build an audience of doing that kind of stuff, right? I would rather just build an audience doing tutorials, doing painting example demos, talking about the industry, building a reputation around that, you know?
Nice. So just like a guru master.
Yeah, like something that I can fucking do till I'm 90 years old, you know? I could still be a mentor. I'll be like a badass old fucking white bearded looking dude. That's gonna be tight. I'll absolutely fit that role, you know, of like a
Awesome.
Shaolin monk living on the top of a mountain, and you need to learn from me. You have to come to where I live, right? And I
Yeah.
charge like 10 grand a class or a seat. People will pay that shit, you know what I mean? And because like at that point I'd be super legendary, you know, I would have tons of free content available or very affordable content. But for that personal, very intimate connection with me, you would definitely have to pay a premium, and I can just survive off of that. That's where I want to end my legacy, you know, not 10 hour. It's just not sustainable. Like a lot of these kids don't understand that it's not going to last. I mean, where are all the jackass guys at? You know,
Yeah.
like they can't not, they had to stop being jackasses, you know? And so for me, it's like, it's really easy to kind of build popular from these types of things, but I don't know if it's sustainable. And so to that point though, if you do all these things, going back to the jackass people, or maybe a better example is like Tony Hawk doing extreme skateboarding, build like a franchise so you don't have to keep fucking skateboarding, like try to keep breaking records, you know? Build a legacy and a brand that eventually you don't have to do that stuff anymore. Like pull a Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, you know?
Yeah.
Which is very hard to do. But I'm just saying, I'm trying to find a way for everybody to succeed however they want. But just like I mentioned before, not all things have an equal, you know, results or outcome. And so you have to be prepared for that. So with all of that being said, everything I just said and like lecturing about like, you know, your own personal growth and who you want to be, and to maintain that, the point I'm trying to get at is that with whatever those circumstances are, whatever those challenges will be, whatever those things that are going to get in your way to become the kind of artist you want to be, just like the Rachel chick, you know,
Yeah.
she had like things that she just felt were just not working out for her.
Hmm.
The one thing that's true for almost all of these people is consistency,
Yeah.
right? So if you really wanted to know what is the thing that, regardless of all those barriers, regardless of all those troubles and all those walls and things that will get in your way, which there will be there, the one thing and one sure recipe that seems to work regardless of those barriers, because everybody will tell you a different story and have a different problem and a different journey, right?
Yeah.
Is that they post or they do something quite often.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't clear enough before when I explained it to you just verbally, and if it wasn't clear to you after I just showed you, like
Yeah.
demonstrated it via my
No, I
work
got
and
it.
other people's work, and even the person you just referenced, right?
Yeah.
You should take a second guess of like why your philosophy is so flawed then, you know, if you can't see the clear evidence in front of you, you know?
Yeah. Fair point. Fair point.
Yeah, and so stop focusing on why people talk shit. Like they're gonna always be people talking shit.
Okay.
Stop focusing on why this person's more successful than you. Focus on very simple stuff of like you're already kind of doing it. You've already decided. You know, you watched that one instructor Bengal, I think it was, who was like, or the other Japanese artist, I think it was. Who,
It was yeah.
yeah, I think it's Japanese. Bengals, I don't think it's Japanese, but he was like stay focused on line art. Rachel's like, stay focused. I got like really focused on this comic book stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Like that seems to be another consistent variable because I am also pretty focused. I'm pretty much a character guy. I usually draw sci-fi to fantasy, horror, right? And
Yeah.
mature and dark themes. These are usually kind of where I live, you know? And so Ross Tran does consistent fan art. Adrian Smith does stuff that is pretty consistently Warhammer, you know, and traditional feeling, you know. So there's like a very clear pattern of events that's happening with all of these artists, including myself. You know,
Yeah,
so
consistency and focus. It seems having a specific, like even if it's not like a specific theme of a comic or story, it's a specific theme of subject matter, it sounds like.
yeah. And with that being said, quality helps exponentially. Theme helps for sure. So don't think that those don't matter. It's just that those aren't the only things. And I like to think about consistency a lot too, because what consistency can do for you is get your quality better, right? Because if you are drawing as often as you should be, and you are posting as often as you should also be getting better, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I got
And
you.
yeah, so that's gonna be where I'm gonna end it. I'll take like one last final question and I gotta roll out and lay down. But this is good, it's helpful. I'm feeling better. Feeling like I can do more things, which is nice.
I have a second question, unless somebody else
Yeah,
wants
let's give
to go.
somebody else an opportunity just in case. Because I did answer your question pretty thoroughly, and it would be nice to make sure I get somebody else.
Do you have anything else on your art bucket list?
My art bucket list?
Yeah, like anything you want to work for, like do some kind of project on your own.
Oh yeah, sure. I guess it would be just like having an idea of mine becoming a really big event, like a movie or a video game or something like that. And I say that not as, again, I don't necessarily want to become rich and famous. It'll just be cool to have like a movie that a lot of people like. I kind of want to be like Mike Mignola. You know who Mike Mignola is?
Yeah, Hellboy.
Yeah, Hellboy. And why Mike Mignola? Because I feel like Mike Mignola can still go to the grocery store and nobody knows who he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you even know what he looks like. You might know of him, but you might actually not know what he looks like, right? You might run
No,
into
I do.
him. Oh, okay. But some
I
people don't.
do. I will find him.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hard to find pictures of him. I'm just saying, like, if you
Yeah.
did it, if you didn't just get real creepy and just started saying, I'll find him. Like you wouldn't have known if you just ran into him. Even when I saw
Yeah.
him for the first time in flesh and blood, I wasn't sure it was him. You know what I mean? Like, cause I don't really know. I just know he's like a white dude with a beard and he's bald. You know, and I've
Yeah.
seen pictures of him before, and I've seen him on his posts, and we talk online. You know,
Oh, cool.
um, because that's what I'm saying. Like Mike Mignola is not unapproachable. Justin Bieber is unapproachable. You know, it'll be a real weird situation for me to be able to talk to Justin Bieber. You know, like
Yeah.
just walk up to him and just be able to talk to him. um I want to be like that kind of famous where if you go to very special events, people know who you are. Like I'm already kind of there. I like that. It's really nice. It's really boosts your ego and confidence as a
Yeah.
person. It's a good thing. I think it's a positive uh of increasing your value as a person, you know?
Yeah.
But then when you go like to Starbucks and you order your whatever the fuck you order, you know, the cashier be can still be snarky with you and not give a fuck about what you ordered and get your name wrong. Like I like that too. You know, I like
Yeah.
to live the day of the everyman. Like that's why not Christopher Reeves, Keanu Reeves is well respected and loved amongst fans and contemporaries alike. It's because he actually doesn't like to be famous either,
Yeah.
and he acts that way. He acts like he doesn't really care about being famous. You know,
Yeah.
he he'll like tons of videos of him just being super humble and modest. There's tons of videos of him like giving up his seats to regular people. There's videos of him or stories of him waiting in lines, right? Like
Yeah, on the subway. Yeah.
there's a famous one where he waited in line to get into a club that was hosting his birthday party, right? Like there was a line to get in to go to his birthday party, right?
Yeah.
And he waited in line. Like he didn't like go straight through. His perspective was, oh, well, everyone else is waiting to get in. I should wait too. I mean, I fucking cut lines, dude. Like, especially if it's my event, dude, I like go straight fucking in, dude. And that makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. It makes perfect sense why I should just be able to just walk right in, you know, because
Yeah.
it's my thing, and nobody gets weird about it, right? Even at Lightbox, that's what happened. Like I was hanging out at Lightbox, and then we had a talk, and so I walked over to the talk, and the doors opened, and me and the other speakers were walking in. As soon as we walked in, one of the people that was waiting in the line was like, "Hey, what the fuck? You've been waiting in line all day, you know?" And they were waiting this like for hours to get into this talk, and I was just like, "Oh, dude, we're the speakers," and he was just like, "Oh shit, my bad, dude." He's like, "Yeah, we just didn't wait. I just didn't want anybody to cut." He's like, "Oh, I feel so stupid." I was like, "No, I get it, man. Like, you just see some random people just start walking in, you know." But
Yeah.
I didn't pull Keanu Reeves. I didn't like wait in line with like the other people to go to my, because it's understood that I need to like get set up and everything. Nobody gets angry if the speakers need to go in before everybody else. So like
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves is like a little too fucking humble is what I'm getting at, right? Like, what are you doing, dude? It's your party. Get in there. You know?
Yeah.
But like the fact that he has that kind of perspective is what makes him loved. You know, he doesn't really care much about the celebrity stuff. He likes making movies because he likes making movies. Like he's a fan of movies. You know,
Yeah.
um, Quentin Tarantino is the same way. I believe he's not really all about the glam. He's about just making movies. He even said, I think he's gonna like make one more movie after the last one he
Yeah.
just made,
Yeah.
because he said he's gonna make like two or three after I think Django. He's already made two, so now I think he's got one more left, and then he said he's done.
Yeah.
And I like that, man. I like this like this idea of like, you know, I don't need to keep making movies just because I'm a movie director. Like I can
Yeah.
retire. I'm allowed to retire, you know? And these are the kinds of people that I'm just, like are becoming my role models. The director of all of those early Jim Carrey movies, Liar Liar, Ace Ventura. Like, do you know who he
Yeah.
is?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, like you know,
No,
he
no,
was,
I don't know who he is.
but
I
you
know
know
he
those
was in the
movies,
movie.
yeah. So
Yeah.
the point
Yeah.
is you don't know who this director is, but he directed some of the most iconic films ever
Yeah.
and launched Jim Carrey's career, and yet you don't know the name of the director. Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah.
And like literally launched Jim Carrey's career. He was the one that wanted Jim Carrey, and
Hmm.
uh and he basically got the big mansions, the big cars and stuff, and he sold all of it after he realized he didn't really need any of it, and like he just lived out of like a mobile home and lives off of all the money he's made from those movies till the rest of his years. You know,
Yeah.
Jonathan Nolan. Do you know Jonathan Nolan?
Yeah. Christopher Nolan's brother.
Yeah, but do you know what he looks like?
Yeah, I do actually, because I saw an
Okay,
interview long back.
okay, I don't. But he's another great example of somebody I think
Yeah.
could just walk into a store and nobody would know who he is. And he's
Yeah.
like the right hand man to all of Christopher Nolan's greatest
Yeah.
successes. You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
like he's the writer. He's not like, oh, I'm just kind of like hanging out. I'm the bro of Chris. Like, no, he's like a real big important piece to the puzzle of all the successes of Nolan's movies. You know,
Yeah.
the Nolan brothers, right? Like, it's not a thing. It should be a thing, right?
Yeah. True.
But it isn't a thing. And I think Jonathan might have been smarter than Christopher by making that making that point of like hey, we could be the Wachowski brothers. It's like we're now the sisters, right? He's like, nah, you can do your thing. You can put your title on everything. It's fine. I'll just help you write all
Yeah.
these movies. I'll just write Interstellar, and you know I'll write all these great movie ideas, and you just direct them. I'll just be in the back, you know.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of great stories of this type of stuff. And I want to be that person who contributes to these great things. I can tell at a cool Denny party, you know, but I don't really care to be in the limelight. And that's kind of where I'm starting to lean towards. I just want to just be a great educator and be known for that. That's it. And doing all these cool projects as a way uh, of validation to what I'm talking about. You know, like real accountability as an educator. When I tell you guys these things, I also live them. So it's not like just hearsay. It's very practical advice I give out, you know? And so with that being said, not sure why I went back on that tangent, but I did. But like, I will say that like, you guys are all capable of greatness, you know? And so don't be afraid of challenging yourself more than you think you should. You should definitely challenge yourself. I always encourage people to try a little bit harder and always feel a little bit uncomfortable with what they're working on. That means they're going to get better.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. All right, Monica, we'll take your question and just see if I can answer it quickly. If I can't, we'll do it next class. How's that sound?
Yeah, it might be a complicated one, so maybe save it for next.
All you do is ask
I
complicated.
don't want to. I don't want to like take up the whole day.
Just ask it anyway, and then I'll ponder on it.
Okay,
I'll
so
let you know.
I know you mentioned about your friend in Spain who started their like thing over there to start something in their own area.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to do that here in Vegas. It's actually pretty hard to get involved in the community here because it's really small, and a lot of stuff here is super profit. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's really difficult to get anything started here because I guess I don't know. It's really weird. It's like I've been joining the art community, but you have to pay to have a membership in it, and then to start anything like a small group. Most people are really like, even the ones that are interested in doing art like professionally, a lot of people are really inconsistent and don't show up. Like a guy wanted to start a comic book club with me, and I haven't seen him in months. And so
Yeah. So this actually isn't too complicated. So the reality is most people aren't consistent, like I mentioned before.
yeah.
And this is true everywhere. You know, like if I don't host the art mixer, nobody hosts an art mixer. It's not a Vegas thing. It's a it's a universal thing.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I don't host the sketch group, I know my buddy Will does now, but like if we don't hold sketch groups, nobody holds a sketch group local to us. Like you gotta, like somebody's gotta hold the torch, build that brand, and then eventually it can be a self-going thing, an autonomous thing. But it doesn't. It's not autonomous just because of the nature of its value. It's autonomous because of that consistency again. So you're probably right, but you're probably wrong about how challenging it is. It might not be as challenging as you suspect. Okay, it's only challenging because there's nobody doing it, but it doesn't
Yeah.
mean that you can't do it, right? And so I would say, because there are actually plenty of my friends who live in Vegas who are artists. I would say let's host a workshop,
Okay.
and I'll help you. I'll help you figure it out.
Oh, all
And
right. That'd be
yeah,
sweet.
yeah, like and just to show you, because that's what I did with my friends in Spain, just what I did with my friends in Toronto, my friend in Brazil. You know, it's not as challenging as you might suspect. Okay,
All
and
right.
so yeah, and so once you start to do it, you'll see that okay, there's definitely an audience here. You know, and there are people. I have students who are from Vegas from time to time, and you know, Vegas is kind of like my second home. I used to live in Barstow, and so we used to go to Vegas like every other weekend when I used to live there for years. So, and I
Yeah.
have some people that I have still have some friends who live out there. So it's not completely foreign land to me. I actually know the landscape pretty well. And so, um, Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll talk after class. We'll set something up.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go now, guys. It's been an honor and a pleasure, y'all. I'll talk to you guys on Friday. Have a good rest of the week. Cheers. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it. Please subscribe to watch more in the future. If you like the video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. If you like this content, you can go to my website, robotpencil.net, where you can find mentorships, tutorials, and a Patreon to get more exclusive content. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys in my next videos.